I'm Cindy Burnett. I'm the director of the Distance Education Program and a lecturer here at the Center for Studies in Creativity. I'm also a doctoral candidate at the University of Toronto, where I'm studying curriculum, teaching, and learning with a focus on holistic and aesthetic education. So, as you can imagine, in a doctoral program, I'm fully immersed in my research at this moment. I'm actually writing up my data collection and writing chapter 3 as of tomorrow, so I submitted my first 2 chapters. So before I talk about my overall research agenda, I would like to talk a little bit about the study that I've been working on. So my study is around holistic approaches to creative problem solving, and the 4 questions that have guided my doctoral study are: how do creativity practitioners construe intuition, and what role does intuition play in creative problem solving? And this was actually, these 2 questions came from the first part of my doctoral study, which included a questionnaire that went out to all of our alumni and current students, and some of you may have answered that survey. If you did, thank you very much. And so the questionnaire went out, and 100 people responded to that survey, and I looked at the data around that. So that's the first part of my study. The second part of my study came from a course that I developed and taught last spring, in spring of 2009, around holistic approaches to creative problem solving. And I had 12 students in that class, and they all agreed to be participants in my study. And we looked at, do students find deliberate intuitive tools and techniques effective in creative problem solving? And if so, when do they find them the most effective? And when CPS is taught from a holistic perspective, is personal transformation more likely to occur? So I just wanted to give you a taste as home students and distant students of what I've been looking at, and this is just one tiny, tiny, tiny slice. So I'm going to give you a little survey. So in a survey of 100 ICSE grad students and alumni, in your opinion, is there a role for intuition in creative problem solving? Out of 100, what would you guess say there's a role for intuition in creative problem solving?
85.
85. Thanks. Anyone else want to guess? 90. 97. 90. What was that? 98. Did you change that, Kevin? It was actually 99 said there was a role for intuition in creative problem solving, and 1 said he was not sure. So I would say 99 and a half. Next question. Do you make it a practice to foster the use of intuition in your creative problem solving sessions? What would you guess? How many people out of 100 said that they make it a practice to foster the use of intuition in their creative problem solving sessions? 70. 97. What else? 50. Close, Molly. Wait. 53 people said they did practice fostering the use of intuition in creative problem solving. Last question, to heighten your anticipation. Have you ever used any deliberate intuitive tools or techniques when engaged in a creative problem solving session? What would you guess? 30. 20. 46 people said that they have used deliberate intuitive tools or techniques in a creative problem solving session. So some of the data that I'm teasing out is what kind of deliberate intuitive tools are out there that people are actually using in the cognitive creative problem solving process. So that is part of my survey. Now I'm going to give you a bigger picture of what's going to happen when I get done with this dissertation, which I have a due date of having a daughter in December 10th, and I have a due date of finishing my dissertation and defending by May 1st. So beyond that, I get to look at all the great things that I've been thinking about. So of course, it begins with the holistic approaches and the role of intuition. I'm also really interested in the role of emotional intelligence, as well as the affective skills that have been defined by Puccio, Murdoch, and Mance in their Creative Leadership book, and I'm really interested in those affective skills. I'm also interested in the impact of affective and intuitive tools and techniques in creative problem solving, and there hasn't been a lot of research done around that. I'm also really, really passionate around mindfulness in creative problem solving. Does anyone know what mindfulness is? Anyone want to guess? Tell me. Yeah, it's awareness and being present. So what happens when you are deliberately present and you really practice being present within a creative problem solving session? And what are the effects of that? Because in my opinion, I think creative problem solving, you're always thinking about the next step and moving quickly forward, but you're not really focused on the challenge at hand. Under what conditions does creative problem solving have a transformational effect? Something I've been finding in my study that absolutely there are situations where creative problem solving has transformational effects, but what circumstances and what types of problems bring about those transformational effects? I have a background in the arts. I used to be a professional dancer and actor, and so I'm really interested in the creative processes in the arts. I have a real interest in doing workshops and research around think like a artist, so different types of artists. So think like a choreographer, think like an actor, think like a photographer, and examining the processes that different types of artists use, and then writing research around that. And because I happen to be married to a virtual junkie, I'm also interested in virtual environments and the impact of virtual learning and creative problem solving. And that sort of also goes into the distance program that I'm now the director of. So that is the end of my research agenda.